The actual consecration is still a few weeks away, 22nd of January, that the Prime Minister is urging all Indians to mark as Diwali. What do you see in these images? Do you see a kind of de facto launch of the campaign of 2024? Or do you think the Ram Mandir is actually Hindutva peaking and that the real challenge for the BJP is going to be to define what comes after this moment?
I actually agree with you about it being the beginning of the campaign, which it certainly is if you listen to the way he's been speaking and the things he's been doing. I don't think, I mean, there was a view that the whole campaign is about Ayodhya, and once they get the Ram temple, what will they do? I don't think that's true any longer. I think the Modi appeal goes far beyond Ayodhya. Ayodhya is just one step along the way.
I think that's quite perceptive, actually, because a lot of people seem to think Hindutva is the only thing that defines the BJP, whereas Hindutva is just one thing that defines
Yeah.
the BJP under Modi, and the cult of personality, welfareism, nationalism. There's so much more to the Modi brand. But how important is the Mandir as a political moment? It certainly is a culmination of decades of the BJP from Advani to Modi.
Well, it's important, Barkha, probably more important to Advani than it is to Modi, though God knows whether he's going to be there on the 22nd. But the Ram Mandir is important because it was the way in which the BJP relaunched. And in the Ram Mandir, though it was ostensibly a campaign about the birthplace of Lord Ram, it was also a campaign about many of the other things Advani spoke about, so-called pseudo-secularism, the so-called pampering of minorities, etc. In that day and age, you couldn't say things that were anti-Muslim. You couldn't be openly Muslim. So many coded phrases were used, stuff like pseudo-secularism, when you really, what you wanted to do was to say that Muslims are too pampered in our country and we should stop this and show them their place. So the Ram Mandir became a symbol of that. I don't think that era is now. I think people say what they want to, particularly in the BJP, about Muslims. So the Ram Mandir is less important as a coded message, but it is important because it was a promise the BJP made the government and they finally made the people of India, and they're finally delivering on it.
Well, here's the question. This mandir has been legally or technically delivered by the Supreme Court. The decision has been taken by the Supreme Court, and hence this mandir is made possible. But the BJP is going to claim this moment as their own. And let's be fair, other than Rajiv Gandhi first unlocking sort of the doors, as it were, with the Shilanyas at Ayodhya and so on, the political movement is very much the BJP's. I don't know that anybody else can lay claim to it. Are you able to hear me, Veer?
No, I lost you. You said political movement is the BJP's, and then I lost you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just saying that technically the mandir is coming to India or to Indians from the Supreme Court, but politically it's coming from the BJP. And other than that one moment when Rajiv Gandhi actually unlocked sort of the gates, as it were, at Ayodhya or at the mandir site, do you think that the political advantage of this moment will only go to the BJP, or do you think this is a non-issue politically?
I think it is an important issue. It is the BJP's victory. You can say that the Supreme Court took the decision, not the BJP. But equally, you could say that Rajiv Gandhi didn't unlock the gates of the masjid. It was done by a court order, and they were merely following what the court said. So we can play that game various ways. But there is no doubt that the Ram campaign was the BJP's campaign. And there is no doubt that the BJP based its political revival on that campaign. So, of course, it's an advantage for the BJP. The Congress will claim, I imagine, that when Rajiv Gandhi began his campaign in 1989, he began it from Ayodhya. They will say that there's varying opinions about they had something to do with the opening of the gates of the Babri Masjid, stroke Ram Mandir, etc. But I don't think anyone will be fooled. This was a campaign created by the VHP and by Mr. Advani. Mr. Modi has taken it forward. It was never really his campaign, but his leader of the BJP, the party of Ram Mandir, he's taken it forward.
But talking about Muslims and how Muslims might be reacting today, the big photo op of today was one of the litigants, who actually wanted the Babri Masjid to stay at the site, Iqbal Ansari, showering flowers. at the Prime Minister's motorcade. And to that extent, the center, what used to be the center of this debate, has clearly shifted in the Modi years.
Yeah, well, I think even before the Modi years, after the demolition of the Babri Masjid during a Congress government with an alleged Congress prime minister who did nothing to protect the structure, I think Muslims have become reconciled to the fact that this mandir is going to be built sometime, some way or the other. So I don't think most Muslims regard this as the most significant issue facing them. Muslims in India face many problems. Whether there's a mandir or a masjid in Ayodhya is probably the least of them.
You're calling Narasimha Rao an alleged Congress Prime Minister.
Well, yeah, I think in terms of his political beliefs, alleged, certainly, yeah.
Let's look at one more question related to the mandir, and then we use it to look ahead at the brand of Modi, the messaging of Modi in the run up to 2024. What does the opposition do? There are leaders like the left that have predictably said we've been invited, but we're not going to go. There's Mamta Banerjee. It's not clear whether she's been invited or not. She says I'm not going to go. Sonia Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge, can they afford, even if they wish to stay away? And when they participate, if they do, does it look like everybody's there for the Modi show? Is it going to be a Modi show primarily? And can the opposition really afford to either stay away or to be in the shadows of Modi? I mean, they're diminished either way in whatever choice they make.
Yeah, it's one of those, do you prefer death by hanging or death by electric chair? It's one of those kind of choices because you're right. If they go and it becomes the Modi show and somehow everything where Mr. Modi appears does become the Modi show, it looks like the spectators of the Modi show. On the other hand, if they don't go, it looks like all the stuff the BJP has said about the Congress being anti-Hindu is true. This is a great moment for Hindus, they will say. This is a moment that is greater than politics, but you guys still want to play politics. So I think the Congress is in a very awkward position. If Sonia Gandhi does go, and my personal opinion is she should go, it would be a brave decision, but a risky one.
Why risky?
Because I think within the Congress there is a view that A, Muslims will be disenchanted with the Congress, that Modi has got the Hindus anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. Not one Hindu is going to shift his or her vote only because the Congress leader went to the mandir. But Muslims may vote against this, may not come out to vote. And the various people in the Congress are already saying to be associated with this is kissing the Muslim vote goodbye.
But do you believe that? I mean, the point is, as you just said
I, I,
yourself,
I
the
personally, I
as you
personally,
just said yourself, the India's Muslims are not just reconciled to this moment. There are Muslim karigars
yeah.
behind the making of the statues. There are Muslim flower sellers, and has been, by the way, even before this moment. Do you really think this is a moment in which Muslims are going to turn against any particular party?
No, I don't, which is why I think Sonia Gandhi should go. But there are many people in the Congress party who don't agree with me. And there are many Hindus, liberal, secular Hindus, who the moment the Congress does anything that is not openly contemptuous of Hinduism, immediately start saying soft Hindutva, they are as communal as the BJP, etc., etc. So there is that kind of so-called secular pressure on the Congress as well.
But Rahul Gandhi speaking at a rally recently this past week still framed the fight with the BJP as a vichar dhara ki ladai, an ideological battle, as it were. The point is that the Congress has not figured out how to respond to Hindutva politics, how to respond to Hindutva as sort of practiced by the Modi school of politics. And
Yeah.
of course, the India Alliance has its own contradictions. You've got Uddhav Thackeray in the mix right there, who sees himself as as a sort of inaugural contributor to the Ram
Yeah.
Mandir issue. So, isn't the and on the other hand, you have a Kamal Nath whose Hindutva bid failed in Madhya Pradesh. So, what does the Congress do?
So there are two, three different questions there. I think the India point is well taken when you have the Shiv Sena saying we were the people who really brought the Babri Masjid down. It wasn't the BJP. Why don't we get credit? Which, by the way, is not true. From all accounts, the Shiv Senics reached too late. The masjids were already down by the time their train arrived. But that's a matter of opinion. I think the only India alliance agrees on is that they all hate the Congress. Beyond that, I don't think they agree on anything. Certainly, they don't have a consistent policy towards the BJP. As far as the Congress is concerned, I think their position, Sonia Gandhi stated it many years ago at an India Today conclave of some sort in Bombay, which is that the Congress is concerned that people see it as being anti-Hindu. It wants to get rid of that perception, wants Hindus to know it is not against Hinduism. That does not mean it's pro-Hindutva or anti-Muslim. Now, that's a difficult and a complex idea to get across, and the Congress has got it across with varying degrees of success, stroke failure.
So I'm going to play out